I heard you say tonight that the lawyers have already brought something up. This is the first that I've heard about this. So of course we want to see the law. We want to see that, we agree with it. And that's going to be available to us tonight, and then you're going to be able to go around and excuse me. No, excuse me.
But that's
it sounded like, because you had said in pretense, that you already had a date. It sounded like you already had a date in mind, that you already have the lawyers going to be there. So what date are you talking about?
2 days. That's 2 weeks.
And 2 days you're going to have that?
Yeah, the public
Okay.
hearing.
Because I know that Doreen and all of us are concerned about the time, because it's in.
This won't be available tonight, though. No, as you said, this will be available tonight.
All right, I thank you.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Your
My
name?
is Dinesh Malik, and I live in 41 Main Street, Highland. With all due respect to all the people who are really concerned about the law, what I didn't understand before is that there is a piece written there that this is going to be a law, but you don't write there that why is this going to be a law, right? So I just heard what Shan just said, that breaking in and stuff. That's the first time I've heard that there has been something like this. Yeah, and we live right there, and it never happened to us. It must have happened. That's why she's so concerned about it. And maybe the other people who are trying to pass the law. But nobody is coming to us or telling us that there is an issue. If there's that huge of an issue, why is the police not taking care of it? Right? So maybe there's something wrong with the, reporting system here. It's not about what we're trying to earn here. And we have been trying, even when you talk about raising the standard, we have been trying a lot to actually raise the standard of our motel first. So the people who come there, we can actually charge them that much. But you don't let us do that either, We have tried to put that in front too, that we want to, rebuild it, but you don't pass that law. So first, why don't you look at that? And then, make it forward. It's not easy to make money. We all go in losses, still we are trying to run it. It's not easy for us. And then you put this law on our doorsteps and tell us to read it and be calm about it. It's not easy. And look at the ages. They're trying their level best to, make money. And then these people, they just stand there and say that there are issues. Yeah, we live just across. How come you just have issues and, they've been having issues for so long. We never get to know. Nobody reports to us. No police comes there. Those people live there for maybe more than years, and so they're not just workers who come there. They're workers who do come there. There are people other than workers who live there. We can't just go and check their vote profile. It's not our job. It's the job of the police who has to take care of the people, their houses, their stuff. It's not our responsibility. There shouldn't be a law like that. And it shouldn't be imposed on us.
Okay.
And brought us here to actually discuss it and go through all this process, and everybody talking about it like we are doing something wrong.
Okay. Well, okay. Thank you.
Right?
Now, I let this get away because this is not the public hearing. So you'll be. I can't because you know what? I let it get into. This is how the public hearing is going to go. Nice and calm and one at a time.
Yes, and we're not blaming anybody.
Okay, thank you.
We are not blaming anybody. And I would really like that you're actually going to have a discussion upon this, because the last time we tried to actually upgrade the motor, nobody here even agreed to the fact that they'd let us. And then they say raise the standard. How come you expect us to raise the standard? What people will live in a place which has been there for like 15 to 20 years, and we can't change a thing about it because there are restrictions from these same people. So they should address to that first too.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, what I have on the table is Trustee McCormick wants to table introducing the local law. I have a set. Okay. Yes, he withdrew it. All right, I'm going to introduce the local law. Resolution introducing the local law and providing for the public notice and hearing. Be it resolved that the introductory local law entitled Regulation of Hotels and Motels. That's not it. We won't take it. You has nothing to do with it. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Put your finger down. Put your finger down. Put your finger down. I said put your finger down. Put your finger down, guys. Because that's why you want to spread out. Huh? Who are you? Who are you to get me spread out? Who are you to get me spread out? I said, I'm here. You, brother, sit down. You understand?
No! Stop! Stop! I need you to stop! Stop!
This is a public meeting, you can have your say.
All right.
We told him he's going to behave himself. Okay, maintain that if you are, folks.
Listen. Where's the, oh, there, okay. And where's Gus? All right. I have a piece of paper signed by you, and I think you, and I know you, and there was one other. I will call you tomorrow. I will call you within a day or two, and you can get these folks together, and we're gonna have a meeting. The motel people. All right? Okay? And I'm gonna listen to you.
Thank you.
You know that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And you know what about
Oh,
that?
okay.
We just want to be involved in the process.
Give me a couple days.
What about us? What about us, the public people? You don't get us that. Come around to each one of us and tell us the same thing. Each one of us and tell us the same
I'm
thing.
telling you right now, I'm telling
All
you
of
the
us,
same thing.
each one of us that are here from Pellwood Lake, that you just went to each one of them. Come to each one of us. Tell us you care about Pellwood.
Norm, you know that I support.
Stop it.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
I think it might be easier if people from Pellwood Lake that want to be at the meeting, because you're here. You signed in on the way in, put Pellwood or something next to your name.
We
so
have
can-
an association. Every one of the
Okay,
community
so-
members in Pellwood Lake is a member of that association.
So we don't
And it
ignore
covers- It's everybody.
You call me, and I'll make
Everybody,
sure that I
done.
have everybody there.
Excellent. And it's not it's to get, excuse me, it's to get everyone's input. I don't want to hold this up at all. I'd love to get it through in 2 weeks when it's supposed to come up. I just want to make sure, if you have not seen the law, if you don't think it's enough, let's add to it. If you think it's too
Pat,
much,
you
you
keep
take away.
saying that. They haven't seen the law because they
I
can't
know
see
that,
the
Joe.
law until tonight.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't seen it. So they have, I'm
All
saying.
right, I'm going to continue reading the public notice where I hear. Be it resolved that the introduction of local law entitled Regulations of Hotels and Motels be and is hereby introduced before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls in the County of Orange in the State of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the board. And be it resolved that the board hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at Highland Falls Library, 298 Main Street, the Village of Highland Falls, New York, at 7 p.m. on the 16th of April, 2012. And be it further resolved that the clerk publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls of the said public hearing at least 10 days prior thereto. May I have a motion that introduces this law, setting a public hearing? Is there a motion? Motion by trustee McCormick, is there a second? Second by trustee Brown. May I have roll call?
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee Casalvo? Trustee Brown? Trustee Hill? Mayor DeNarco?
Aye. The reason I told, Norm, I'll talk to you for a second. The reason that I told these gentlemen over here that I would meet with them, because they gave me a letter, and they each individually signed it. And as I said, anyone who gives me, you don't have to give me a letter for me to meet with you, you know that. But they gave me a letter. That's why I told them that I would meet with them. Okay? All right. Next, we have a resolution, a budget amendment and transfer for fiscal year 2011-12. It's reference to the wastewater treatment plant vehicle. Whereas the wastewater treatment plant pickup truck was totaled in a snow plowing accident during the October snowstorm. And whereas the insurance recovery for the village insurance company, Gallagher, Bassett, Cumberland, for the total vehicle has resulted in anticipated revenue of $9,453.50. And whereas this revenue has been designated to offset the cost of purchasing a new vehicle for the wastewater treatment plant. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the following amendments to the 2011-2012 budget. Increase the expense code of G8120.2 sanitary sewer equipment, $9,453.50. and increase the revenue code of G2680 insurance recoveries, $9,453.50. Increase the G8120-2 sanitary sewer equipment, $10,000, and transfer from the G889 revenue reserve for equipment, $10,000, to the G5990 appropriated fund balance, $10,000. And be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the following transfers within the 2011-2012 budget. Decrease the G9901-0900 interfund transfer equipment reserve, $10,000, and increase the G8120-2 sanitary sewer equipment, $10,000.
So moved.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, may I have a second? Second by trustee Brown, may I have roll call?
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? Trustee Flynn? Mayor DeNarco?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have approved grass cutting for fiscal year 2012-2013 contractor. We had, 6 sealed bids. And, the low bidder was Hudson Seal Coating and Landscaping, New Windsor, New York, $12,550. Pat, where's Pat? Pat, your recommendation is that we go with Hudson Seal Coating and Landscaping?
Yes.
Okay,
I did all the references and checks out here.
good. May I have a motion? Motion by trustee McCormick, second by trustee DeSalvo. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Roll call?
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Flynn?
Nay.
Mayor DeNarco?
Aye.
4-1, motion carries.
Next, we have a memo from the street superintendent to surplus a computer. I understand this computer was like, you're like the third child to have the computer.
Yes.
Time to go?
Yes.
Please write in.
It just wouldn't work.
It's not a flat screen, is it? It's kind of like that.
Probably about 1985.
Please declare our non-working computer surplus, serial number D723702273000593. Motion by Jim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Patrick, is all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. We have bills and claims for fiscal year 2011, 2012, in the amount of $159,162, $192.67. And public comment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So wait, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Ron Nelson, 105 Center Street.
Hold on.
You didn't finish motion paper yet?
Oh, Howard made a motion. Who seconded it? Joe seconded, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Yes.
Ron Nelson, 105 Center Street, Highland, New York. I'd just like to say that I think that the frustration and anger that's been shown here tonight is indicative of how angry people get when issues come up that are not addressed. And many of you have been on the village board for many, many years. And these issues have not happened overnight. For example, the code violations that are now in the town's hand have not happened overnight. The drug problems, I challenge you to come and live on Center Street where I live for a few years. We've been there 5 years. We have been fighting about the drug dealers, and I can give you the addresses and their names. And we've been fighting for 5 years and have it taken care of. We need people to come down like they did in Kingston and clear them out. So people get angry and frustrated when their neighborhoods are allowed to go down and be devalued, and you have a board that's sitting in front of you and they're not acting. And I'm sorry, but we have no one else to blame except for you guys. You've been here, this is what's happening to your village. And it's time, I think, that things change. And I just would like to add that I find it despicable that we have a very few number of men that are sitting before us refusing to televise these meetings live, so that we have to have people filming it and putting it on YouTube because a few of you don't want to be accountable to your elected, to your constituents that have put you in this place. And I personally find it just absolutely revolting and despicable that you don't stand up and be accountable for what you're saying and what you're doing to this village. And I think you should. That's all I have to say.
Jim, would you meet with Ms. Wilson? She has names and addresses of drug dealers. Would you meet with her? Said you would call her to make the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as getting code enforcement, Bob, your door is always open, the building department is always open to hear any complaints about building code violations, correct? Okay, thank you. That could be noted, I appreciate it. Anything else? Okay, board comment, okay. Bob, I'm glad, Mr. Supervisor, I'm glad that you're here tonight. There's been a tremendous amount of cooperation between your board, all the members, and all the members of this board. It's very noticeable to everyone, but probably more to us because we live it every day. I don't have to say that I hope it will continue because I know it will continue. And it continues to grow, which is the good news. I want to commend, and if you could take back my sincere thanks to Tony Scicciarini. He has been to several meetings at the Village Hall. I understand you were looking for him one day and we found out he was at the Village Hall. So it was a good thing. It's a good thing. He's been working. He actually said something that was most surprising to me. Surprising, not that I didn't know it, but surprising because I've never heard anyone say it. He actually said, which is fact, that a large part of his salary is paid for by the Village of Highland Falls. So he has no problem coming to a meeting or two when I ask him when he has the time. But working with Patterson in the back there, on our road restoration and paving and these new ways of doing overlays from Nova chip to fiber. Yeah, and this is all kind of new stuff for me and maybe for some of the members of the board. And they're going to be working very closely together with Trustee Casalvo, because he's the highway commissioner, and coming up with a plan of what roads to do and under what type of restoration to do, from fully paving to doing the snow chip to the fiber. Okay, and we need that on our desk. We need you to get that going soon. It's spring now, and we don't want to wait too long. So, Bob, I thank you, your board, and your folks that work under you. Thanks. I want to, Mr. Jones, the wastewater treatment plant superintendent, I want to commend you and Mr. Patterson, the highway superintendent. Recently, we've had 3 sewer breaks, not easy to repair, some on weekends, your day off, but coming in and fixing these so that the residents don't have to incur any problems or issues in their own homes. So thank you. And please tell your men that. I've stopped by all these different sewer breaks. The men work great together, and it's nice to see. Okay. I want to thank West Point when they heard about our 9/11 memorial that we're doing down at Memorial Park and the piece of steel that we were able to bring back. I have met with some West Point officers and cadets on site, and they are in the process of designing, I don't know if it'll only be one or several types of memorials to include, obviously, the piece of steel that we have. And then not only do they want to, not only will they design for us to pick one, they want to actually put their hands in the dirt and help erect it. So I think that that's a great thing that I need to thank them for as the time goes on and they'll be down there working. I want to let the public know that the Greater Hudson Valley Health Center will be here with their local van on the 7th of April, this Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at my town marketplace. They're offering free scanning for blood pressure, diabetes, and body mass index. So take advantage of this free screening. Also, in the near future, they're in the process of buying Dr. Medina's building, and we will have the Greater Hudson Valley Family Health Center right here in the village of Highland Falls, and that can only be a positive. A couple of years ago, I worked out a deal with Balfour Beatty, who for 50 years will own the housing on West Point. They were claiming they didn't have to pay sales tax on all of the material they bought. I saw it otherwise, and through those efforts, they had to pay county tax, and this past year, they paid the county $23,750.93. Of that, I worked out the deal where the village got the lowest amount. Go figure. The town of Highlands this past year received $4,814.38. The village of Highland Falls received $3,530.54, and that's good free money. And I think the school got a larger chunk, probably got the largest chunk. And I don't have that amount. I don't know that I have that amount here. But that's more good news, and it's just another way that we're out there working. 911 was brought up before. When Kenny Scott gets back from, I guess he's on vacation, right? He's away. I've given you the folder. You're going to work with 911 and Ken Scott and bring something back to the board. I'm going to bring up section